and Mark Vandehar. And now for the starting lineups, first our guests, the Warriors of Norwalk. Starting off in the forward position, a senior, number 1, Cameron Thomas. Playing guard, a senior, number 3, Mason Johnson. At a guard position, a senior, number 4, Caleb Foltz. Playing forward, a senior, number 5, Timothy Korselman. And rounding out the lineup at a forward position, a senior, number 12, Grady Sigris.
All right, folks, good evening once again as we're live here. Todd, you got me over there?
Yes,
I
can hear you loud and clear.
All right, we're live here to get this, the second half of the doubleheader tonight. The Norwalk Warriors, who come off of a state tournament appearance in 4A boys basketball last year against the Ballard Bombers team with a ton of experience, came off of a state tournament berth themselves. A lot of familiar faces out here for the Bombers, and this place is rocking for the first Tuesday night here at the Hangar. And with good reason, Todd, because this should be a doozy.
Picked up. Here we go.
Yes, it has. I'll try to set the table for you right away, as it looks like it'll be a loose ball, jump ball. We'll probably get a do-over here again. So the starting lineup for the Bombers is Parker Miller, number 4, number 14, Miles Mudd, 15, Mason Gatchell, 21, Jackson Brown, and 23, Jude Gibson. Like I said, Bombers graduated 2 seniors, Nolan Cogdale and Owen Greco off of last year's state tournament team, so high expectations for this Bombers squad. The Norwalk Warriors come in as they lost 5 seniors off of last year's team, but they've got a good program down there, and Coach Pelzer knows what he's doing. Bombers basketball, Mudd on the drive, on the baseline. Kicks it over to the corner to PK Miller. Miller back in the corner to Mudd. And this will be Korselman on, Grady Sechrist on him. Gibson with it on the top of the key, fumbles it around a little bit. He picks it back up. He's going to work on number 3. That is Mason Johnson. Mudd, as that's Sechrist flying through the air with a block shot.
Nice block.
10 seconds to go on the shot clock. 7:31 on the game clock.
A lot of early movement from the Bombers.
Ball's inbounds to PK Miller. He'll go up to score with a left hand. Off the glass, no good. He'll be out of bounds on the Warriors as Mason Johnson was the last one to touch it. Set the table here for the Norwalk Warriors. Number 1, Cameron Thomas. Number 3, Mason Johnson. Number 4, Caleb Foltz. Revived, Timothy Korselman. And number 12, Grady Sechrist. Inbounds to Gatchell. He hangs too strong off the glass. Ripped down is Timothy Korselman as the Warriors get their first offensive trip. Almost 40 seconds into this one.
A couple nice offensive out-of-bounds plays. Just didn't quite connect there.
Jackson Brown dives for the loose ball. He excellent tripping up number 1, Cam Thomas. It'll be the first one on Jackson Brown. 7:12 to go. Resets the shot clock to 35. Just new, I believe, last year in the state of Iron, maybe the year before, but it has changed the game immensely.
Yes. Definitely needed the shot clock.
That's Corselman. Now he'll take it back up to Thomas here with Brown on him. Over here to Johnson. Now it's Corselman in the corner with Mudd on him. The Bombers in man-to-man. Gatchel went for the steal to no avail. Johnson in the corner. That's Fultz. Now that's short. PK Miller with a rebound. He'll bring it down by himself. The beauty of the Bombers is they've got 5 guys that can handle. PK kicks it to the corner to Gatchel. One more to Mudd. Mudd from the left wing. It's off the iron. No good. Ripped down there by Sechrist as the Warriors look to run.
Nice transition basketball there. Just didn't quite get it to fall.
Bombers look to push the tempo a little bit this year. Talking to Coach Schertz just a little bit. They're going to try to kind of dictate the pace with the amount of guys they play, but it'll be a feel thing throughout the course as the Bombers do have some depth. They're not real big, but they're long, as we talked about in that girls' game. And that's Fultz with it out here, Caleb Fultz. He'll swing it back up to Sechrist, the 6'5" wing player. And Jackson Brown rips down the board. He'll bring it up as we spread the floor. Brownie with a crossover. Now over here to Mudd. Spacing's not great as Miles
Ford
Mudd
here on one side.
looks to set it up. He's directing traffic. You'll see that a lot this year. Mudd playing that point forward.
Nice new look.
Gibson with the ball in his hands. He's quicker than a lightning bug in July is Jude with it. The crossover, the take, out to PK. Now Jackson. Brown with a drive. And he'll try to finish through.
Good job using his body there, finding a seam, going hard to the rack. Obviously with Jackson's success last year shooting the basketball, that's one thing obviously he can keep improving on because they're going to try to take that away.
100%. He gets his feet set, and it is downtown all the time as Brownie shoots that one too strong. I think we're seeing a lot of nervous energy here
Both
to start.
teams fed an air ball and a couple missed bunnies here.
Easton Ursuline will check in, just the junior here for the Bombers as Ursuline, the 6'4" wingman, checks in for Gatchel. Caden Aganaw's number 2 junior is looking to check in here for Brown as he misses that one short, so Jackson will stay on. Sechrist will bring it up here. Nice looking 6'5" player here for the Warriors as he throws it over to Johnson. Johnson to Corselman. PK Miller out here on Sechrist. Picks up his dribble. A lot of ball pressure here from the Bombers.
Nice job by the Bombers so far on defense. Norwalk looks kind of out of sorts here. Like to finish this possession. Nice
Parker Miller with a dive on the floor. Good effort there. Throw ahead to JB. That's Jackson Brown. Downtown. Jackson Brown for 3.
Those are the types of plays as a coach that you just love to see. A guy gets on the floor, pitch ahead.
Bombers with a little full court pressure here off for the make. The first one we've seen tonight. 3 minutes into this one, the Bombers lead 3-0. PK Miller with a little stumble, looked awkward, but he's okay.
Baby giraffish, but
yes,
picked himself right back up.
Mudd gets the turnover. Ursuline gets it ahead to Gibson. Bombers on the move here. Good quick crossover. That's that length from Sechrist. We've seen it a couple times here from Grady Sechrist. He is a nice-looking ball player, the 6'5" senior. The Warriors as Brown checks out. PK Miller checks out. Gibson checks out, and Mudd checks out. So
they're going to need one more guy.
Yeah, we only got 4. Rule is you should probably play with 5.
It's helpful.
It is. It levels the playing field a little bit, but Dylan Schoen's in, number 11. Caden Aganall. This is Ursuline with the ball. Over to the corner to Schoen, the lefty. He looks to step through. He kicks it back out here to PK Miller. Jackson Scott, number 20's in the game. He'll set the back screen. This is Aganall. Full head of hair and all. Rims it out.
That's a good look.
That was a great look on that little refuse the screen. This is Dylan Schoen on the basketball. That's Mason Johnson on the dribble for the Warriors as he surveys. A lot of ball pressure again, even from these next group in. There it is. Another turnover, the 3rd one of the game. Here comes PK Miller on the drive. He attacks, and he'll draw a foul on that one. This is what we talked about. We touched on it early, and we haven't seen a lot of buckets, but there's been a lot of tempo being forced here by the Bombers. We talk about pressure. They're putting it on them defensively and offensively.
The ball's getting pushed up the floor. A lot of ball pressure forcing it to the sidelines here. And just good help.
PK Miller makes good on the first one as Gatchel. He's going to be checking in here for Parker Miller.
A lot of early substitutions here from the Bombers. Almost be a full 9 or 10 guys have played already.
100%. Number 25 has checked in Jack Larson for the Warriors. As PK Miller makes good on both of them, just a sophomore. Gatchel checks in, so he'll go up to the front of this pressure. Easton Ursuline will come back, so we've got Gatchel, Schoen, Aguinaw up top. Jackson Scott and Easton Ursuline here on the back. He can move with the basketball, can Seacrest. Didn't understand. Number 10, this is Audric Pelzer in, just a sophomore, as he's hounded by Aguinaw up top. Good to see Caden Aguinaw. He's had some injuries, but he's back. Looks to be pretty healthy. Good ball pressure. Good help there from Schoen.
Schoen's always good for some great help.
Ursuline gets a hand up. It's short. Offensive rebound there from Larson. Now this will be Pelzer with it on top. Straight line drive. Good help. That'll be down low. Good move there. That was number 4, Caleb Fultz, the senior.
Yeah, you'd like to see that possession finish with the rebound, but Norwalk made the most of it.
They did, and you said it best. You want to see it with a rebound if you can. Schoen kicks it out to Aguinaw. Aguinaw for 3. It's up and good. Caden Aguinaw, number 2, the junior, seeing his first varsity action of his career here for the Bombers, but it's 8-2, here, and Bombers are everywhere. You could say they're flying around, Todd.
Yes, they are flying around. Very good, Tim. It's nice to see Caden obviously coming back from a knee injury last season, but just shooting that. That was a couple confident strokes.
100%. He's got a good stroke.
Absolutely.
We talked about good mechanics. That's Seacrest, the big 6'5" from downtown. Bang. Hits that one from the Kelly Fire Department. 8-5 here as now some Bombers look to check back in as Gibson's over there and downtown Jackson Brown with Mudd. Schoen with a good left-handed take with the kiss. No good. Jackson Scott battles in there. Good aggressive take there from Schoen as the Warriors look to run.
Wow.
Oh, and it looks like it'll be a foul. I'm not sure if it's going to be on Schoen or Ursuline, but nothing easy here for Norwalk as the attack. That looks like it'll be on Dylan Schoen, his first. 2:41 to go here in the first quarter. The Bombers lead 8-5, and it's been an up and down frantic pace as Cam Thomas will go to the line for a pair.
Yeah, I think each team's first couple possessions, little anxiousness, a little anxiety, a little nervousness, but I feel like it's leaving the gym now.
Yeah, I agree. The Bombers with a squadron that checks in as Gibson's back in, along with Miller, along with Brown and Mudd as Gatchel stays on. Thomas makes good on both. 8-7 here. Bombers lead. Approaching the 2:30 mark of the first quarter. We'll walk in the man-to-man. Jackson Brown with a left-handed drive. He takes it right at Seacrest, uses that body. You
Great
touched on
job
it earlier.
of using his body by Jackson Brown.
Left-handed finish, and there's a turnover. I want another one right back as Fultz gets it. Now this is Jack Larson cross court. The Warriors look to run. Thomas with the finish. It's 10-9. The tempo is being forced here. It's like a 1984 Ford. The old school car to the tempo. Gibson
what a nice
between
car.
The legs. Too strong off the back iron. Throws that one just a little bit. 10-9. 2 minutes to go here as PK Miller is all over Seacrest in the full court. This will be Fultz with it on the right wing. Thomas catches at the high post with Miles Mudd checking it.
Nice set.
Really good set there. Caleb Fultz too strong with it as Gatchel handles it. Gets it over the point forward, Miles Mudd. Miles coming off that right elbow injury off the baseball season with a strong drive there, and he can't finish.
Couple nice drives right from the top of the key, just can't finish them.
This is Pelzer right back at the Bombers, and JB gets a hand up.
Good job of going straight up by JB there.
This is Mudd, and that is swatted away from Seacrest.
There's a souvenir for the fans.
Yes, it is. Miles put that one right on a tee for Grady Seacrest.
Yes, Seacrest obviously is one of the lengthier players out here tonight. Saw him hit a deep three earlier.
Yeah, and the CEO, the Chief Energy Officer, Lincoln Miller, making an appearance here early in this one. 1:21 to go. Your Bombers lead 10-9. Ball out of bounds. Muggs gets it in. Gibson will take it at the top of the key. This will be Mason Johnson checking him. Jude with a dribble drive. The step through, cross court to PK Miller. And that's pure as butter as Miller hits that one from the corner. That's the third made three here the first quarter for the Bombers. With 1 minute to play, they lead by 4. That one's tipped away there a little bit, with a piece of it was PK Miller. Number 5, Timothy Korselman will have it.
More ball pressure.
That'll be Seacrest with it. Bombers look to come trapped from front side. Now the rotation's got to be good. Korselman will shoot that one quick. JB,
nice
downtown Jackson Brown. Jack Larson wolfed it. Gibson looks to reset it, gets something good with it here. Little go screen action, takes it down low to PK Miller.
Good take.
PK with the fancy
Great
footwork and the left
there.
up and under from PK Miller.
You know, Jude had him earlier, but just was patient enough. Parker kind of got resettled back in there, and just some beautiful footwork.
Yes, it was, and PK Miller's got 7 here in the first, so the Bombers have stretched the lead to 6. It'll be a 30-second timeout taken by Coach Aaron Pelzer, and the pressure's starting to rear its head here for the Bombers.
Yeah, you know, a couple possessions there where it's just kind of a straight man pressure, and then you throw a little bit of a double team at it, and then things just get sped up a little bit. Force them into a corner 3. Great job by the Bombers of scrambling there. Probably when they're a little undermanned underneath the hoop to get a rebound, but great rebound by Jackson Brown to get it pushed up the floor.
And you know, it's almost, you want to play with that synergy because you're replacing, you're filling, and you're replacing, and it's almost like you're in a pulley system or a yo-yo. But if you can get somebody to take a shot and you want them to take the shot.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily they want to, but they feel compelled to. That's a good trip for the Bombers, and I think we saw that down here.
And then if you don't have one guy, you know, that's not flying around and hustling, you know, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So great job by the Bombers so far. Hopefully we can keep that up.
This is Pelzer with it, with Aganaw on him as there's 20 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Peyton Aganaw dogging him out top. Pelzer with it. 2 team fouls apiece here in the first quarter. Little go screen there. Oh, the back cut by Sechrist is a good one. Good defense there by Lincoln Miller, but a better finish there from Sechrist. With the push.
Gotta hit it.
Oh, and boy, if we'd have thrown the lob, the roof might have came off this place to no avail.
I would have raised the roof with him.
Yeah, that might have got us all standing up. Anyway, 15-11 here at the end of 1. As there's been a lot of action, but there's been a lid on the basket. Real quick, folks, we want to give a shout-out to Huxley Communications. At Huxley Communications, the only thing faster than our internet is our service. The only provider in the area offering 100% fiber optic service. You can depend on us for your home, work, and school. A partner in your community and your trusted source for the most reliable internet service. We invest heavily in the communities we serve. Year after year, we proudly support the Ballard Community School District and Ballard Athletics, a local member-owned cooperative since 1937. We are the #1 local telecommunications provider for the Ballard residents and surrounding communities. Go Bombers, and we appreciate you, Huxley Communications. Also, Chick-fil-A of Ames. Hey, Ballard, looking for an easy way to feed your friends and family this fall or this winter in the holiday season? Let Chick-fil-A Ames cater your next gathering. Choose from a variety of trays, including Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets, perfect for a get-together for any size. Place an order through the Chick-fil-A app, online, or by calling ahead and pick it up in Ames. Enjoy more of the game when you take cooking off your plate. Availability and order requirements may vary. Call the restaurant for details. Let's go Bombers. What's your take after 1 quarter of play, Todd?
Love the pace of play. It's just fun to see them get up and down the floor, both teams. I loved how the Bombers are flying around. You know, some really good passes, some drives on the baseline, some good cross-court passes. And yeah, just I'd like to see the pace at 15. It'd be nice to get in obviously the 20s in a quarter, but
right
only
on
ask for so much. Here we go.
Ow, that's a good hard foul there, but he helps him up. That's good sportsmanship from Mason Johnson, something that we have been lacking in sports after this last weekend. We touched on it off the air, but nice to see him help Jude up. Jude went strong with that finish. We've seen him in the past kind of try to go up and under, a little dipsy-do, and he just went right to the rack.
Sometimes it's nice to, you get a little finesse with it, but if you go strong to the rack, you're going to get a call in high school basketball.
For sure. Gotta make our free throws here. Missed a couple early on in this one as JD, I think, went 0 for 2 and Jude 0 for 1. Those guys are 70% shooters or better throughout all of last year. So, again, there's some jitters happening. It's the home opener, and there are a lot of expectations, right? When there's expectations involved, you can either rise or fall to them, whichever you choose. But Gibson makes good on the second one, 16-11. Quick sub in here as Ursuline comes in for Mudd.
I like the sub in after a made free throw, kind of get to set your defense here, especially with your press that you're doing such a good job with.
That's a great point, Todd, and that's kind of something that kind of goes lost on folks, but it does give you just a little extra.
Loving the defense and the footwork by Parker Miller here, moving his feet. Again, that press, just almost making them turn the ball over.
Yep. Using what God gave him, that good footwork and those long legs. As Sechrist looks to line that one up, doesn't take it. Quick double there. as this is Gibson again, and that's going to be a foul. That's almost NBA. I believe that's a 2-shot foul. That's a clear path, I think, but we're not here.
Or we could give him a continuation there. I don't know.
Continuation. Now you'll see some of that as well. Mud checks back in here for Jackson Brown. Bombers subbing a lot, so guys are going to be pretty fresh here. I think this is kind of a feel-out process for Coach Schertz.
I mean, in that first half, there were 9 Bombers that played.
Jack Larson checks in here for the Warriors. Is it Seacrest, Larson, Pelzer, Corselman, and it looks like number 3, Mason Johnson in. For the Bombers, it's Mason Gatchel, Miles Mudd, P.K. Miller, Jude Gibson, and Easton Ursuline over here in the corner. Gibson with it out here at the top of the key, slips a little, and dribbles it. Now a good baseline
nice
cut.
Good.
It was almost an unbelievably great finish, but there's the Bombers. Gatchel gets his hand on it. Boy, that was spectacular. $1 million move and a 2-cent shot. That's a white men can't jump reference for you older folks.
Oh.
Wow, Jack Larson.
With a hand in his face.
Gatchel flying at him. 16-14 is the score. Just 1 minute in here into the second quarter. Good on-the-ball defense here for Mason Johnson. It's always tough
nice
for the opponent as
Easton
Ursuline as he stays up on that pressure.
You know, some really good passing by Jude so far. I think there's been some times where he's been stuck, but he's patient with it. He's found some cutters.
Yes, he has. That was Johnson with the somewhat of a hurried 3. The Bombers will corral the rebound. Jude looking to direct traffic, and the back cut. He telegraphed that one as Pelzer was there to knock it away. Seacrest brings it down. He'll lead the break.
He wants that
6'5" will shoot that one from distance. The glass is open. He banks that one in, 18-17.
We've seen a few of those here this evening.
Yes, we have. It must be something in the gym tonight. I guess we could be in the air tonight. I think that's Phil Collins.
Yeah, I can do the jump solo later.
There you are. All right, I like that. That's Ursuline from the top of the key. He fires. That one's no good. Just under 6 to play here in the second quarter. A frantic pace, 18-17, your Bombers lead. Seacrest with the dribble drive, runs into a double team from Ursuline and Gatchel. Pelzer out here with Miller, moves the basketball in the corner. That's Corselman. That's Johnson will have it from 3 land. He'll take it and he'll miss it. Mudd can't get that rebound as Miles got caught watching.
Nice block.
Big block there from Mason Gatchel. Rule of verticality.
So athletic. Love that.
And the student section enjoys that effort as well out of Gatchel.
Yeah, right in front of the student section.
Second team all district there.
Fun.
Football, you bet. The kind of the red out tonight. Nice with the holiday theme as Schoen checks back in. Downtown Jackson Brown. Gatchel stays on. Agonal's in as well as Mudd will stay. Bombers in the man-to-man, switching everything. Good help there from Gatchel. Larson catches it out top. Now it'll go over here to Pelzer. Brown will check him. That's Johnson in the corner as that's shown on him. And Dylan O'Dogya.
Yes,
JB with it with Pelzer on the dribble
help.
drive. Seacrest top of the key with Gatchel on him, who just had a nice block. Dribble drive from Pelzer. Swung out here to Larson. He's made one already this quarter. No good with that one. Bombers can't corral that rebound, so it'll be Warrior basketball. Resets the shot clock. 5:01 to play. In a one-point game, you touched on it, Todd. Got to finish a possession with a rebound.
Yeah, you know, it's been a lot of three-point shots, too. So, just long rebounds. Tendencies to run to the hoop. You got to go find the body.
Yep. Gatchel with a foul there, so Seacrest will go to the line for 2. He'll have 2 to try to take the lead here.
Sneaky little out-of-bounds play. Just throw right over the top to Seacrest.
Yeah, Seacrest, he's a good-looking athlete. He's long and lean. He can handle it. He's made a couple of threes here, I believe, tonight. So
he definitely banked one in. I remember that.
For sure. No good on that one as Agonal corrals that rebound. And Caden will bring it down on the dribble. This is Mason Johnson checking him. The Warriors in that man-to-man. Agonal surveys it. And ball's tipped as Mudd catches it. Now it'll be Jackson Brown. And Seacrest with the block there. Jackson Brown falls down, but Seacrest will bring it. Schoen will get in front of him. Good take there. End-to-end. Seacrest wanted a foul, but he went end-to-end with that one. Takes the lead, 19-18, the Warriors lead. Gatchel has it here as we'll bring JB Back up it, and downtown Jackson Brown for three. It's no good. Big rebound there by Timothy Corselman.
Yeah, nice last possession, obviously, on the block from Segrist and a coast-to-coast finish. Strong at the rack. Bombers needs to stop here.
Pelzer with it on the right wing. Gatchell will go in.
He will challenge him.
And Gatchell will get the left-handed finish there. Good finish by Gatchell, under control there by Mason as the Bombers lead by one with just under 4 to go.
He kind of sized up Segrist and got his body where he needed to be and finished.
This is Johnson with it, with Aganaw checking him. That's Larson in the corner. He goes around Gatchell.
Nice.
Aganaw with good rotation there. Good basketball smarts play there from Caden Aganaw. Finds JB in it with it. Gatchell will try one from distance. No good. 20-19 with 3:30 to go here in the second quarter. Your Bombers lead by one. Haven't seen a sub in a while. Pelzer with it. Segrist has it. Now it's over to Johnson on the wing. Pelzer back up top with Schoen checking him. Straight line drive to the rack. No help there. Too easy for the Warriors on that one. 21-20, they lead.
Yeah, that possession was unlike, many of the defensive possessions we've had so far. Straight line drive, easy bucket at the rack. Those are the ones you just hate to see.
A little shuffle cut there from the Bombers as this will be shown. He finds Aganaw on the wing. Too strong. Gatchell with the rebound. Good step through there by Mason Gatchell, and good strength finish there from Gatchell. He'll continue to check Segrist here full court. 22-21, the Bombers lead, approaching the 2:30 mark here of the second quarter. Johnson with a dribble drive. Aganaw with the defense. Out to Pelzer. He surveys the situation. Another dribble drive from Pelzer. Back out here to Corselman for three, and he finds the bottom of the net.
Yeah, just too much help being needed right now, whether it's a show or whether it's a full body there. Just give him a little bit too much space to shoot the basketball.
Bombers looked a little gassed here. As JB with the force there to no avail, and now the Warriors will get a run out. Aganaw's there to rip down that one. Well, we're going to get a quick jump ball, but that'll be Bomber basketball. Mason may have gotten away with one. It's the Warriors 24, the Bombers 22. 2:02 to go here in the third.
That is almost a full line change there for the Bombers.
Yes, it is, as Gibson checks back in along with PK Miller. JB will stay on. Jackson Scott, number 20, will be in along here with Easton Ursuline. The Warriors stay on with what they were, and that'll be a travel on Gibson. 154. Bombers will look to set their defense here in the full court.
It's probably one of the, had a couple turnovers here in this quarter. Our pace on the offensive end, we definitely don't need 35 seconds.
No, that's for sure, but we've got to defensively, we've just got to guard our man a little bit better in the half court.
There we go. Guard and
Good
finish
play
here.
There from Easton Ursuline with an athletic play to take that one away. Brown with a pump fake. Over to PK Miller, the spin move. Underneath to Jackson Scott. Good find there from PK Miller. Jackson Scott with a bunny.
Pass.
Tie it up with 1:20 to go.
Great finish by Jackson Scott and an even better pass.
Segrist will bring it. Now this will be Mason Johnson with Gibson on him. He doesn't want to put it in front of him too much or Jude will take it right away. Good double there.
Nice double.
Pelzer with a three, and that one goes in. 27-24, the Norwalk Warriors lead.
That play is made by Segrist of just handling the double. Almost had him, but the pass was on the money.
Yes, it was. Put it right in the shooting pocket,
Absolutely,
right? And he was catch and shoot just like he's on the Bass Tour.
There
Speaking of catching and shooting, downtown Jackson Brown for three. That's his second of the evening, tied up at 27. About an 11-12 second differential between the play clock and the shot clock as Pelzer brings it up against Gibson. Bombers with only one team foul this quarter, so they've got a few to give here. PK Miller gets the rebound as Ursuline looks to run with him. Kick it out there to JB.
He wants this one.
Gets his feet set again, can't find it. It is now the Warriors will look to run back the other way. Parker Miller with a big time play. Segrist right there. 29-27. 10 seconds to go. The pace has been frantic, but the Warriors lead by 2. Drew Gibson with the up and under and a big time play as Seacrest was there with a block shot.
I would say that was a nice time to finish with finesse.
Yes, it was. He read that. He read the room there beautifully. And after all of that action, it's tied up, 29-29.
That went by fast.
Yes, it did. They let him play, and it was wide open was the pace of play. Folks, we're going to take just a short break here. We'll kind of recap the first half, and we'll talk about the second half as we'll take just a short break here, as I believe we may have a dance team coming on, possibly. So we'll let you folks at home tune into that. All right, folks, welcome back. We got about just less than a minute to go here in the halftime break. But, Todd, what did you see that first half that you liked and you didn't like?
You know, early on, obviously some really great help. I thought Norwalk adjusted to it pretty well and started hitting some open shooters. You know, it's nice to have that help. That's what you teach. But it'd be even better if you didn't need the help.
Sure. Kind of taking away some of that straight line drive stuff, and they kind of got us on their hip a little bit. And anytime, it's kind of like the old adage, I mean, you play a little wide receiver in football, it's like when you're even, you're leaving.
Absolutely.
Right? And so you kind of get your shoulders by them, and then all of a sudden, then you got to get that help. And we've rotated nicely a couple times, but really the Bombers, we haven't made a ton of shots. We got 29 points, but we're not shooting a very high percentage.
No.
And I think making shots for us is crucial because we like to get into that pressure.
And I would, you know, with the amount of turnovers, I think that, I don't know how many we had exactly. Probably be great to know that, but I feel like we created enough turnovers to where it would have created some easy buckets, but we didn't get a ton of those.
Sure.
So, you know, great game. A lot of fun.
It has been a great game. We said it at halftime at the end of the first half. Todd looked at me and said, was that like 5 minutes long? As it felt like it. You know, we know there was 16 minutes played, but, man, it flew by. And I look for something very similar here in the second half. If you're the Bombers, you got to kind of know where Segrist is. He had 12 in that first half. And he went end to end. He hit a couple threes. He's kind of their guy, and he's been a rim protector a couple times. But you're right, they've made some nice adjustments finding the open man. But I think this guy kind of likes to facilitate for him.
Yes, he did a nice job of making some nice plays for them. Early on here, a little chest match with, chest to chest.
Yeah, for sure. That's Fultz. He'll miss that one, but that's Cam Thomas with a big rebound. Boy, we talked about that in the first half, is finishing a defensive possession with a rebound.
Yes, yep. You need everybody to get there and contribute. Can't just be one guy. But yeah, it seems like when they've gotten the offensive rebound, they've made us pay.
The original starting five here for the Bombers is PK Miller gathers himself. So it's Gatchel, Miller, Gibson, Brown, and Mudd out there for the Bombers, along with Segrist, Mason Johnson, Fultz, Cam Thomas, and Timothy Korselman for the Warriors. And there's again with the help, and they find the open man. So an easy one for the Warriors as they take another 2-point lead. Back and forth. Gibson with the dribble drive. He finds Mudd in the corner. Miles will miss that one too strong.
There's Parker.
PK Miller, he finds Mudd on the drive, and he can't get there. Gatchel with a big tip out. Again with the miss. The Bombers crash the glass, and finally Korselman comes down with it. Bombers had 3 really good looks and couldn't find it.
Yeah, you'd like to have one of those go down. Good effort. It'd be nice to see one of those go through the hole.
This is Johnson on the drive. Now he finds Thomas again.
Wow.
And that's Cam Thomas's 3rd bucket here in the 3rd quarter.
And from the same exact
spot in that little dunker position. But he's found himself in the open spot. Jackson Brown with a left hand cannot finish. And Segrist with the rebound. Again, the Bombers with a lid on the basket. Trail by 4 is Thomas out in front. That's Fultz for 3. And he finds it as now the Bombers trail by 7 here in the first 2 minutes of this 3rd quarter.
And Coach
Jeff Schertz wants a timeout. Well, the Warriors come out. They get the offensive rebound to start. Thomas with a finish. Dribble drive assist, and then Fultz with the 3. And the Bombers can't buy one here in the second half, and that explains it 38-31, the Warriors lead.
Yeah, you know, obviously not the way you wanted to see it start, but there were some good things, but not enough going our direction here.
And we talked a little bit about it at halftime again off the air, folks. We do have some conversations, but we need to make shots in order to get into our pressure. I think we're better in the full court and not having to manufacture as many buckets or as many looks. And when you're not making shots, it's really hard on your defense.
Yeah.
You touched on it in the girls' game, is when you're making shots, usually because your defense is pretty good too.
Yes, absolutely.
It goes hand in hand. It's kind of like asking somebody to the Sadie Hawkins dance, right? I don't know if they still have those anymore, but it's kind of a hand-in-hand thing for sure. So the Bombers got it on the sideline over here after the quick timeout by Coach Jeff Schertz to have a very stern conversation, probably very one-sided in that huddle. Muddle inbounds it to Gibson. But this Norwalk team is very well coached. They've got some experienced guys. and they are not going to go away quietly into the night. Gibson with a dribble drive and cannot finish again as Fultz rips that one down, and he'll bring it with the dribble. He pulls it back out. Segrist has got it out top. He'll be checked by P.K. Miller. Cam Thomas will have it on the block.
Bombers
he kicks
really
it
need
out
to stop here.
Kicks it out here to Johnson. Johnson, now he gets it to
Here we go. Good scramble.
Thomas. And now that's P.K. Miller. Now it's ahead to Gatchell. Now to Gibson. Gibson with a little trailer to Gatchell. He finds Mudd down on the baseline. Now we get it reversed up here to Gibson. He'll get a ball screen. He'll pull up for the three, and it's no good. And the Bombers cannot buy one here the first 3 minutes of the quarter. They're ice cold, much like the temperature this morning at 6:30. It was 9 degrees. Well, that's Fultz in the corner for three. He misses. Now Gibson will rip it down. Bombers look to run. Need to push the pace here if you're the Bombers. Get some easy ones. Get them out of their defensive rotations. Miller with the dribble drive. He'll take it up there to Seacrest.
Good take.
And now Brown. And that's Seacrest at the rim again.
Just disrupted it enough.
Yes, he is. And nothing's easy for the Bombers right now. This is Mason Johnson with Gibson on him. He'll turn it over. Seacrest claps his hands. He's not very happy. We're going to run a little chin action. This is a staple here from Coach Schertz, as it looks like Jack Larson and Audric Pelzer will check in, as Johnson and Korselman will get a breather here for the Warriors. 38-31, 4:25 to go in the third. That back screen into that shuffle cut. Now we post him right down. P.K. Miller looks to go to work, and he can't buy that one. And I'll tell you, folks, they're just not going down. 38-31, the Warriors with the lead, and the Bombers defensively have to grind through this one to try to pick up their offense. Segrist here, Cam Thomas. Elbow jumper. Thomas will miss that one off the mark. Gibson looks to run. He leads the break. Brown with the trail with a handoff. JB will look to dribble drive. He kicks out here to Mudd. Mudd will take it on the drive. Pump faking.
There we go.
The rim and good, and finally get one to go over Seacrest. The lid is off. 3:35 to play. Bombers trail by 5. The pace has slowed and the plot has thickened here on the home opener for the Ballard Bombers. Pelzer with it out here, being checked by Gibson. Now to Fultz. This is Segrist with it. Checked by Gatchell. A lot of ball pressure out there by Mason.
Backside.
Jack Larson catches it. Good double there from Mudd. Fultz will try the three ball. It's no good. Larson tips it out. Too strong again, and Jack Larson crashing the glass. Pelzer will be short on that one. Gibson will get it. He's got Mudd ahead of him. Now he throws that one into the bench. We had Miles on the right wing. We chose not to do it. Weren't quite on the break there. 2:59 to go. Bombers trail by 5. Schoen checks in as Mudd and Gibson and Gatchell will get a breather. Urson will be in as well. P.K. Miller and JB will stay. Caden Aguinaw, who hit a 3 in the first half, has checked in. Bombers with the full court pressure.
That was definitely the longest action most of those players have seen consecutively. That was about 5 minutes there into to the quarter. Got a little sloppy, a little tired.
This is Urson will check Segrist up here. Extra steps will give you bunions. Coach Pelzer does not like that call. Neither does the Norwalk bench. And it looked like a decent Euro step, but Coach Pelzer's giving him an earful. And we got to remember, it's everybody's first night out tonight. We got to keep that in mind, but if you're a Bomber fan, you'll take it. Parker Miller will bring it up here. Over the right side to Aguinaw. Now to Urson. We get Miller into the post. He's going to go to work against Seacrest. Kicks it out.
Nice.
Side, downtown, nice. Jackson Brown for 3. As Schoen hustles that one. Tries to tip it off, but good energy and effort there from Dylan Schoen.
Nice
big
little
time
inside,
3.
outside.
Yes,
needed that
is.
Bucket.
Inside out. Kids love that movie. You seen that one, Todd? I haven't seen it, but it is there. Executive producer Danny Sunsets. He's seen it. He likes it. Now see if the Bombers can do something with it. The pressure is dialed up here a notch as Fultz has it. Kicks it out to Larson. He puts it on the deck just barely. Over Ursuline. Jackson Brown with a good rebound. He rips it down and get it to Parker Miller. Bombers look to run. Down by 2, approaching the 2-minute mark. Jackson Brown on the dribble drive. Oh, that should be It could be goaltending, and it may not be, but it's going to be a foul on Segrist. It looks like as Jackson Brown forced that one. Foul on Segrist, and the Norwalk faithful don't like that, but we'll take it as Jackson Brown will go to the line for 2. And it's getting intense in here now with exactly 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Brown makes good on the first one. That'll be 12 on the night for JB with one more free throw coming. Looks like Miles Mudd's looking to check in for JB.
Yeah, you know, a nice job by this group that just came in about the 3-minute mark. The last minute, they've cut the Norwalk lead. Now it's tied.
Brown gets that one to go, so he makes good on the 2. He'll check out. Miles Mudd will check in. Bombers will get in their pressure. It's tied up. They were down by 7. It's tied up at 38. Oh, and Dylan Schoen with a good hustle play. Head first to the bench, but you talked about it, Tom. It's that kind of energy and effort that can exude itself throughout the gymnasium here. A little extra step in Easton Ursuline. That hurts my legs watching him jump that high, Tom.
Yeah, it's got the student section into it a little bit.
This is Pelzer with it, with Caden Aganaw checking him. A little body to body. Here comes Ursuline with a trap. Good rotation there from the Bombers. And now Fultz gets it wide open 3, too strong. Parker Miller tips it away. Now it'll be PK Miller. He'll bring it down as Ursuline's over here on the right wing. You always got to check where Ursuline is because he can fly through the air. Aganaw with it on the right wing. Over here to PK Miller. He takes it against Segrist and finishes. Parker Miller, the big time finish there from the sophomore, number 4. And now the pressure is heightened as he tries to throw it off of Miller. And he dives for it. It'll be off of Miller. Now it's going to be off of Norwalk. It'll be Bomber basketball. Might have got a break there, but that's an energy and effort play. Parker Miller gets a big ovation. Good hustle there from the sophomore, and you love to see that out of him.
Absolutely. These last 2.5 minutes for the Bombers have been just a complete 180 from what was happening to start that.
It's like the old Gladiator movie. You're going to hear me say it a lot, but if you can win the crowd, it makes a big difference in an atmosphere like this. Aganaw with it. He's checked by Fultz. They're letting them play, and I like it. Both sides of the basketball.
Big shot.
Miles Mudd pulls up. Schoen with a big-time rebound.
Again.
Dylan Schoen with an effort play again. Good job pulling it out. He looks to dribble drive.
Nice
Kicks
pass.
it out to Mudd.
Miles.
Mudd one more time. Short on it. Schoen is there. Ursuline shoots his hand on it, but he can't. But I'll tell you what, it is gritty out there right now.
It is.
Nothing is easy. As hard as it was for the Bombers that first 5 minutes, it has been equally as tough here this last 2.5 for the Warriors.
And again, I'd just like to make it noted that the substitution for the Bombers just brought some energy and put a lot of pressure. I mean, Norwalk's only played 7 guys.
Yep.
And we've played 9, and throughout the course of the game, that will make a difference.
Absolutely, and we just saw it here as now we're switching on the pressure. One foul here in the quarter. Oh, and that's aggressive play there. But I think, as long as we're not in foul trouble, you can be aggressive with only having 2 team fouls. You still
if
got
that's
2
Mason's 3rd or 4th.
Not a great foul.
Not a great one. Yep.
2 will take it because if it forces a turnover, it can kind of switch the tempo. Jackson Scott checks in for Gatchel. He's got 2.
He's just a step or 2 late.
Yep.
Almost playing center field there and almost had it.
A little more anticipation there. There's about a 6-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. 29 on the shot clock, 35 on that game clock. Mason Johnson being checked by Schoen. Now it's in the corner. That was Korselman. Segrist with it. Double team. That's Pelzer. Can't leave him open. Jackson Scott rips down the rebound. 22 seconds to go. Jude Gibson looks to hold for 1 here as Coach Schurz directing traffic from the sideline. Now we're down to about 12 seconds to go as Gibson's being checked out top by Mason Johnson. Gibson the hesitation dribble. The step back. It's up and it's short. Segrist gets it with 3 to go. Tipped away. Aganaw has it. It'll be blocked by Segrist. And boy, that was a helter-skelter, frantic last 3 minutes. The Bombers went from down 7 to up 2. Approximately a 9-0 run there to end the quarter. It was quite unbelievable. The man, the myth, the legend, Brett Dutton's in the crowd. He decided to show up tonight. Anyway, Todd, the first 5 minutes of that quarter left a lot to be desired from the Bombers.
Yeah, just off just off offensively, you know, and just not making a few shots that we probably normally make.
For sure, but you said it. You took note of the substitution, and those guys brought a little bit more energy.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the tables kind of turned, and we made a couple shots,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah. Yep.
It can cure what ails you on the basketball
You made a couple
floor.
shots, and then you can actually set your defense. You can get up and press. You can do the things that you're equipped to do. I think Norwalk went scoreless there at that substitution. There.
They did. Yeah,
almost 3.5 minutes or so.
Yeah, it was 38-31 when that substitution came in, and we were right there, right around that 3-minute mark. You can always go back and look at it, but that was when it shifted. Now, if you're Ballard, you have to stay in that zone and play with that same intensity, because you touched on it there. Norwalk's played 7 guys. We played 9 guys. Most minutes our guys probably have is 11 or 12, so we should have some gas left in the tank.
I think you like to come out of this and start the fourth quarter with one of your best, sets. And obviously it's the first game of the season, so you may not know. But maybe something you like throughout the summer. And,
you like that summer, but again, we've got a lot of experience on this Ballard team here that's coming back, and they played in some monster games last year. So we're looking for maybe something here to run JB off, or maybe a little flare, something like that.
Yep, he does like that flare screen.
As Jude Gibson's got it out here on the left wing. Now Parker Miller will bring it back up to the right wing, swing it over here to Miles Mudd. Jackson Brown with it out here on this Cambridge logo, back out top to Mudd. He's being checked by Segrist. He's a little dribble drive. Back out to Gatchell, 14-13 on the shot clock. Over to Gibson.
Panic.
Gibson with a little floater. It's off and no good. So good defensive trip there from the Warriors as they look to attack. That's Cam Thomas. He had a huge third quarter. Johnson will shoot it up, and that one with the friendly roll. Mason Johnson finds the bottom of the net. Looks like that'll be his first 3 of the game, as now the Warriors lead by 1. 41-40. PK Miller with it at the top. Bombers look a little out of sorts here in the half court. Miller with it on the right wing. Mudd with it. Now he'll be checked by Fultz. Gatchell with it on the right side. Mudd with it on the right wing. Dribble drive. He loses possession. Gatchell will shoot the 3 ball. It's up and no good. Parker Miller there with a rebound. He'll go right at Segrist. And he'll force his way in there. Parker Miller with a good aggressive play. Caleb Fultz has it now as Jude Gibson checks him in the full court. Good rotation there. And that'll be off the Warriors. And they're letting them play, and they have all night. And I love the consistency from the officials here tonight, Todd.
There's been maybe
really
8 or 9 fouls called tonight.
Yep. But it's been both ways, and it's been consistent. And if you're as a player, you like that, because then you know.
And I'll be honest, I haven't really noticed.
I haven't either. It's been really well officiated, I thought, all night long. Gatchell with a baseline drive. And that'll be 2 points for a takedown there for Fultz. No, that'll be later on. We'll do some wrestling as we get into it. As Gatchell with a baseline drive. It'll be a blocking foul on Fultz. The first team foul here in the fourth quarter.
I think Mason made up his mind he was going to the rack there.
Yes, he did. Head down. Bull in the China shop. 6:19 to go. 42-41. The Bombers lead. A little out of sorts on the inbound. It'll be up top to Gibson. He has it. Ball screen there from Gatchell. Now he'll reuse. Over to Brown. Jackson just missed that one.
Dang.
Everything looks good when it goes off of his fingertips. I agree. Approaching the 6-minute mark. Bombers down by 1. That's Korselman. He'll miss the baseline jumper.
Tough shot.
The Bombers wanted that one for him. Mudd will bring it up. Slow down the action. Good things have seemed to happen when it's been in PK Miller's hands. Look for him on that little shuffle cut or baseline cut. Flex cut, I guess, on the baseline.
Yep.
That's a little Wisconsin trait, right? The Bo Ryan's big time drive there for Gibson. He hangs and bangs. Nice play there from Jude.
Jude's got to the rack a few times and just hasn't quite finished them. That was a nice little hanging floater there.
Yes, it was. 44-41. 5:25 to go here in the fourth. As Gibson's right there in the passing lane. Can't get it away from Johnson. Segrist over here in the corner to Fultz. Up top to Segrist. Checked by Gatchell. This is Cam Thomas with it on that elbow.
There's the help.
Ripped away there by Gibson. I look for the dribble drive and the float out here to JB. He looks to dribble it. Inside to Gatchell. Out here to Gibson. Now when Jude turns it over, as Fultz is there with him, Jude's got to run back. They got numbers here. Good contest, a better finish there from Cam Thomas. Jude was looking for the foul, but to no avail.
I think you want to just keep moving the ball there and keep them on their heels.
Yeah, the good things have happened when we moved it, and we sung it from side to side with purpose. Not just because, but with purpose here. Back screen to get Mudd down to the block. Gibson takes the handoff from PK. Over here to the right side to Mudd. Dribble drive with the left hand on Fultz. Miles looks to attack, a little up and under. Can't find it. Gatchell's there.
Nice.
JB with a rebound.
Way to be active,
Mason Gatchell with a big-time play.
You know, right there with the dribble drive, you know, Miles Mudd got what I would call a double gap, and it just gave him enough room. The help's not there. Allow him to spin back, and just sucks in the defense, and then we get an offensive rebound.
Sure. Johnson. Fultz in the corner, checked by Mudd, forcing him in baseline, which you don't see very often in the high school game. Fultz is struggling with it. Now there's Corselman up top, and he'll find the bottom of the net, and that's a big-time shot from Timothy Corselman. Got to mention he's got a great first name, by the way. Corselman for three. Tied up 46-46, under 4 to go. We've got ourselves a ball game. And we've got a squadron of Bombers looking to check in here with Aganaw, Ursuline, and Schoen over there. Gibson with it on the high post. He floats and hangs, and he gets that one. Timeout here from Coach Schertz. I think he wants to get these subs in so we can figure out where we're at here in the last 3 minutes and 34 seconds. Wow.
Yeah, you know, nice little set there. You don't see Jude post up a lot. Got the ball inside, just patient enough. Again, he kind of hung a little bit and got it right over the rim for two.
Yeah, and we're making some shots. That first 5 minutes of the third quarter, it was, you know, we had 31 there forever, and now we're already to 48. So in the last essentially 8 minutes of the game, we've scored 17 points. So that's kind of been the story here, but this Norwalk team has hit some really big shots, and you can tell that they're very well coached on what they want to do. They like to get it at that high post elbow.
Absolutely, yeah, they've been getting it to Cameron Thomas quite a bit there and just making some plays.
And it isn't quite the same because Tex Winter's not here and Phil Jackson has been retired, but it's a little bit of that triangle offense, catching it and kind of navigating through it a little bit here. So no foul trouble at all, really, for either team. There's 0 fouls here on the Bombers and 1 on the Warriors. And outside of maybe Gatchell with 2, that might be the most for any player on either team here. It looks like Cam Thomas has got 2. Oh, I guess Caleb Fultz has 3 for the Warriors. Bombers look to heat him up here with pressure as Gatchell will check Segrist here in the full court. Segrist goes by him. End to end, can't finish. Ursuline rips down the rebound. He throws it ahead to Schoen. Make a good decision here, Dylan.
Oh.
And he's taken away by Pelzer. Here comes Segrist.
Good defense.
Schoen's right there again. Do not give up, young man.
Aganaw.
Yes, sir. Aganaw was right there to slow it down, and Schoen with the wolf from behind.
Off. Nice job. Cut him off without his hands, put his body in front, creates a turnover.
Shuffle cut. Now we got JB off of that flare. Downtown Jackson Brown to no avail. Gatchell was celebrating, should have crashed the glass there. Less than 3 to go. Bombers lead 48-46. 2:40 to go. PK Miller and Jude Gibson.
Yeah, Caden with a tough guard here with Segrist. He's been kind of shut down here for a while.
Pelzer now with it.
That way.
That's Corselman who just hit a big 3 with a dribble drive. Good defense there to shut him down from Gatchell. Dylan Schoen working hard down there on Segrist. Fultz for 3, can't find it.
Gotta finish it.
That's Thomas with the huge rebound. Now we're going to get a foul there, and Caden Aganaw knows he should have blocked him out a little bit better, and Caden knows it. You can tell by the way he kind of just grabbed his fingers. So now we'll check in. It'll be Miller, Gibson, and Mudd, and Aganaw, Schoen, and Ursuline will check out. Decent 1 minute there, minute 15.
Just brought a different energy. I feel like with that group they like to go a little bit more of a pressure situation.
Yeah, for sure. Those guys are athletic as all get out. And Aganaw's got really good basketball savvy, so it's a really good combination.
Now we need this one not to go.
Segrist misses that one, but that's Thomas again with the rebound, and that's again. Cameron Thomas has been working his tail off this second half. He's got 14, and I believe 8 of them are on second chance points.
Yeah, and 8 of them are right in the same spot on the, well, you call it the right side block. And he's left-handed,
and he
feels pretty good there.
He's making hay in there right now. And this Norwalk team, they are playing very hard.
Yep.
49-48 here with less than 2 to go at the hanger. We've got a barn burner here in Huxley on the first doubleheader of the season as Gibson goes in. Up and under. That's too strong. Gatchell taps it out.
Huge tip out.
To Jackson Brown. Brown in the corner to P.K. Miller. Gibson with it on the left wing. He'll size up. This looks like it's Corselman with him.
About 20 on the shot clock.
Brown with it on the right wing.
Nice set.
Mudd finds P.K. Miller in the corner. Can't find it. Corselman with a big rebound. Mudd in there looking for a jump ball, but he'll get his hands on it. Oh, now we're going to go offensive foul there on Jackson Brown. Haven't seen that one all night, but Sechrist took a shot to the sternum there. Sechrist will have to check out now. I believe Pelzer's come to the floor. So it's 49-48. It'll be Norwalk basketball. And just like that, the Bombers have 3 team fouls for the quarter. Remember, folks, they get to 5. It's 2 shots, automatic 2 shots.
Yeah, good effort there by the Bombers to keep battling, keep scrapping.
And trainer Jordan's been excellent. He handles all the training needs for our kids here, and we've got some. He's been great for opposing teams as well. But Sechrist looks like I think he took a pretty good shot there.
Pretty good shot to the
pretty good shot to the stomach sternum area. So he's trying to catch his breath and take a deep one. Good to see the young man back on his feet. JB with some good sportsmanship. Checks him, see if he's okay. Alan Sechrist needs to check out. JB checks him out. Looks like they're going to call a timeout. So I believe the rule there is, Todd, they call timeout. Sechrist can stay on the floor.
Come back in.
Yeah. So it'll be Norwalk basketball underneath the Bombers hoop. They cannot move on the dead ball.
Right.
So Bombers lead trail 49-48 with 1:14 to go here in the fourth quarter. And it looks like the Bombers have 3 timeouts. The Warriors with 3 timeouts. The Warriors with only 1 foul. If you're Norwalk, what do you do here, Todd?
Well, you want a great shot. You want a great possession here, a great shot. And quite honestly, a lot of their points in this half have come off second chance. So you want to keep crashing the glass. Obviously, we're pretty aggressive, so we get out of position a little bit, but you want one of your best sets right here.
If you're Ballard here, what pressure are you throwing in Norwalk? You're obviously going to throw some sort of pressure. What do you like in this situation with the ball being stationary?
Right. I think they're going to come with some sort of double here.
Like 1-2-2 or 1-2-1-1.
Yeah.
That first pass force to the corner, try to trap it.
And that kind of looks like how we've been set up as we've been playing throughout the game, but we really haven't ran that zone pressure. It's more of a man pressure. But it looks like we're a man here.
Him not moving, and Sechrist is just getting an earful from the Ballard student section. As they look to get it inbounds, and they do. There's the quick trap, just like we predicted.
Oh, nice hustle.
And that's Dylan Schoen.
That's what he does.
My goodness gracious. We got used to seeing that all over the football field this year. But that is Dylan Schoen with an outstanding effort on the head first slide, almost like he's on the baseball field. Again, down there in the corner with it as Ursland gets really big. That's got to be 5. And he gets a timeout right at the 5-second count. Holy smokes. That was a 5 Mississippi timeout. Got it, though, so that'll be another timeout used. 32nd here by Coach Pelzer and the Warriors. And it is loud down in that corner for Sechrist. And you've got a kid that can jump through the roof and Ursland on you. Tron Scott's coaching him up here, and I think we're going to see some of the same stuff here, Todd. I don't know what you think.
Well, I know personally I like to change it up here just because I know what they're drawing up.
Sure.
But at the same time, they looked uncomfortable.
Right. You make a great point there, because now if they're coaching it up, do you maybe face guard but don't get beat over the top?
Right.
Do you run and jump it the world's kind of your oyster here if you're the Bombers, just because you've got athletes all over the floor right now.
Right.
I mean, you can really, this is probably your best defensive team as far as athletes you can put on the floor at one time, with length and speed, with Gatcho back here playing free safety.
Yeah, this is definitely your turnover team. Nice job.
That's a big-time jump ball forced there by Easton Ursuline and Parker Miller. Now it'll be Warrior basketball in front of the Bomber bench. Need to give him some room here. But now after the Bombers, you want to force everything down to this baseline underneath our own hoop.
That corner's been dangerous for Norwalk. Looking over the top over here. That's gone.
Gatcho with a big-time finish.
Huge steal.
Bombers take the lead, 50-49, 1 minute to go.
Now you got to finish.
Timeout still available here for the Warriors.
Bombers with at least a foul to give here.
One foul to give. Good point, Todd. As this will be Gibson. Now it'll be Pelzer. It'll be checked. This is Schoen out here on course.
There it is.
Dylan Schoen. He throws it ahead to Gatcho. Finish, Mason.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. Big-time rebound.
Big-time rebound. Oh, and he called a travel. Holy smokes, travel. Now Gatcho should have finished that one with a two-handed jam, and he didn't. He took a hard spill, but the Bombers kept playing. Dylan Schoen was there. 34.7 to go. Shot clock is irrelevant. Turned off. Bombers lead by 1. Bombers in pressure. Norwalk cannot move. We've seen this song and dance before.
Don't want to get beat deep here. Now you got to sprint, hustle back. Good contest.
Segrist can't get it.
Got to come get it.
Oh, when PK Miller, it's turned over.
Timeout.
Now you get a timeout if you're Ballard. Timeout if you're Ballard. It's a jump ball, but it'll be Bomber basketball. Now we're calling a foul.
Foul.
Looks like we've got a foul. It'll be distinguished who it's called on. It'll be number 1. It'll be on Cam Thomas for the Warriors. Only the second of the period here for the Warriors. Now, 17.4. We're going to get our guys checked back in here.
Free throw shooters.
Yeah, we're putting some experience back on the floor with Jackson Brown, Miles Mudd. Now we're back to the original starting 5 for the Bombers.
And great job by Coach Schertz there. It's almost something you forget because they're just playing so scrappy.
Boy, and he'll get one there. That'll be a foul call on Caleb Fultz as he bumped Gatcho. And that's the thing. Gatcho's a hard guy to bump because Mason's pretty well put together. 15.5. Gatcho will take it out of bounds. 3 team fouls apiece. Coach Schertz will take a timeout. Folks, we have got a dandy here with a dandy finish yet to come.
Just super impressed with both teams and the scrappiness of this whole entire game. Obviously, the Bombers there, those last 4 possessions, and I know that the possession kept going back to Norwalk, but, man, to keep that ball in the corner, to make that long pass, and to have the athletic Gatcho go up and get it, hang in the air and make a layup, that was just impressive.
Yeah, and you know, it might be a moot point if we get the dunk or the rebound, right? And the Roof's trying to go off this place, but they're kids, right? So they're in the moment, and he believes in himself. We talked about it earlier in the girls' game. Is you think you can, and sometimes too much confidence is a bad thing.
Right. I don't know that feeling necessarily.
I don't
to
either.
Get up for the dunk,
I'm living below the rim, man. But I'll tell you what, both teams have really played hard. I don't think the effort can be questioned by either team. And both coaching staffs been a little bit of a chess match tonight. And, you know, Norwalk playing 7 guys, and the Bombers really
10 guys
subbing in and out and really making it complicated. But
and honestly, for Coach Schertz, in some tough, crucial moments to make the call where sometimes you're like, well, you know, these are my starters, this is who I go with.
Sure.
You know, I mean, I think that's a great lesson for such an early season basketball game.
Yeah, and we're first one of the season, right? And this is a team. This is a 4A team that went to the state tournament last year, so it's no accident that we're here. Mudd will take it out of bounds. Seacrest will have it. 2 timeouts apiece here for the Bombers and for the Warriors. Parker Miller will get it, and it's out of bounds. Oh, and Pelzer almost tipped it off of Parker Miller's leg.
Nice
that was very close.
And kind of flirting with that half-court line. I don't love that.
Timeout here by Miles Mudd. Didn't find anybody that he liked open. I'm with you. That half-court line can play mind games with you.
Yeah.
So right now, if you're in the huddle, and you're over on Norwalk's bench. What are you coaching up right now?
Well, clearly you need the ball back, but you also have a foul to give, so you can be aggressive and ultra aggressive, just like they were there with Pelzer with the quick hands. I mean, all night the officials have let him play a little bit, which has been awesome. But at the same time, you know, if you're Norwalk, you got to have that ball back.
Sure. Can't score a bucket without the ball.
Nope.
That's kind of how the game works. To note here, folks, the possession arrow is in the Bombers' favor. Right now is that jump ball, but we got a foul called earlier, so that's kind of a big play as we look forward here. So, Bombers lead 1. We'll kind of set the scene for you here. It's 50-49. It's been a back-and-forth battle all night long. 12.8 on the clock. Bombers with 1 timeout left. Norwalk with 2. We'll see what Coach Schertz and the Bombers get drawn up here on the first one of the season. And this is basketball at its finest to have a barn burner here to start the year out. Now it'll be the starting 5 for the Bombers, along with the starting 5 with outside of Pelzer, as Pelzer's on, Fultz, Korselman, and Thomas, as it looks like Johnson is not in. PK Miller with it. He's fouled quickly there by Timothy Korselman. Now it'll be the Bombers basketball underneath.
Right. These teams got timeouts.
They do, so we've seen some good sets ran here early from Ballard.
That was a nice play to get Parker open. She's on the floor. Oh, boy.
It'll be jump ball, but that's a huge jump ball. Now we're going to call the travel. Oh, now Coach Schertz got the timeout, which, not a bad timeout. It is a possession arrow, it
he's
saves
out
the
now.
possession arrow, but he is out of timeout, so that makes a little difference. And that ball will be inbounds just outside your comfort zone. If you're trying to run something here, you're not necessarily where everything's designed to be here, right? So now, if you're Norwalk, now what do you do? Again, we got to get a quick foul, right?
Got to get a quick foul, or you're getting the ball. And Ballard, you can't. This is what sometimes drives me crazy. Is you're expecting them to foul, you let up just a smidge, and now they've tipped it out.
It's a great point, Todd. We've seen it time and time again.
You just can't relax. And I feel like if Norwalk gets the ball, you've got to scramble your tail off.
And you got to scramble your tail off. But to touch on that, if they do get the ball, we have a foul to give.
Yeah,
so
great point.
We need to make sure that we're reminded of that in the huddle with no more timeouts left. We do have the possession arrow. And again, we touched on this in the girls' game. Turnovers and live ball turnovers. Right? So let's not force something down on their end to give them an easy look here.
You'd like to see everything happen down here.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. It'll be interesting to see who takes the ball out of bounds.
There's no time to hang your head if you make a mistake.
No. It's like in The Lion King where Mufasa or Rafiki hits him upside the head. He says it does not matter. He's in the past.
Oh, I don't love that. Okay, now we're changing the play. Maybe strong.
Now it should be an intentional foul, and it is called because he grabbed his jersey, and by rule, that is the right call. And it's not the favorite call, but when you don't make an attempt for the ball and you grab jersey, that is an intentional foul. And Coach Pelzer's not happy, but he does know that rule.
I mean, it's one of those things that it's almost the letter of the law there.
And you can't turn away from it. You know, if he gives him a little shove in the back, it might not be called, but
obviously, for the Bombers, we'd like to see it.
Sure.
But, it's not necessarily you love to see the way this play.
Absolutely, for sure. So now here again, Jude gets this one. He could extend the lead to 3. Bombers with a foul to give. And he misses that one. So now it actually will be Bomber basketball. Possession arrow is still in our favor. Looks like Miles Mudd's going to take it out of bounds.
Yeah, and I don't love anything going too far down this way.
I agree with you.
Oh, boy. Oh, wow.
Wow. You hit that one right on the head there, Todd, as we don't like anything too far down this way. So now it looks like they're going to give them the ball right up here in front of their bench.
Yes.
Which that's a nice place to inbounds the basketball.
Yes.
Because 90% of the plays you draw up are from that.
Right.
Essentially used to be the old 5-second line or 10-second line there. Right there, kind of where the coaching box line is. So now, I feel like it's deja vu.
Whew.
Let's set the scene here again. 3.5 to go. Bombers lead 51-49. Bombers with 3 team fouls, and it looks like Dylan Schoen and Easton Ursuline are going to check in the game here. You got to believe Ursuline's going to be on the basketball, looking to force everything away from the Norwalk hoop.
You know, I don't know, Tim. Do you try to get a quick foul to waste a little bit of time if you can, or is that too dangerous with 3-5?
I think you do. I think you try to get it and maybe get them to have one dribble, especially if it's going away from
us. Yes.
You don't want to go to it because he could throw something up and something snaggly could happen here. But you do have a foul to give. Norwalk does have a timeout left. I look for something here for Segrist.
Yeah, he's been pretty quiet. Let's lock him down right here. Got Easton on him. Need a lot of communication and talking here.
Yes, we are. There he goes. Coach Church is coaching up Easton. Easton get inside of him. Now the back screen. Now we're going to stay here with it.
Beautiful play.
Urson stares him down as Segrist kind of get a little arm bar on him there, and that was an interesting play.
Yep.
That'll be the timeout. So 0.3 here to go. The only thing they can do is tip the basketball. Now they might have to have a conversation with young Easton to get him settled back down. It was an intense play, to say the least, but all they can do is tip.
Yeah. Yes,
you can't catch, shoot. There's nothing here that you can do.
No, you just don't. It's got to be at the rim. If
now
we're
going to see as Coach Scott's going to go over. They're going to readjust the time, but we're going to see, and no, it's going to stay where it is. Yeah, you know, maybe it's 0.5. That changes a little bit.
It's hard to know in high school basketball, but you have 3 officials out here. There's usually an official that's their job.
Yep.
And they're communicating that.
That's a really good point,
right now.
Todd. Yeah, really good point. Usually the trail guys got the clock, and it's. But again, these guys in the stripes have done an amazing job tonight. They've let them play, but they've kept good control of the game.
I wouldn't mind having them on one of my games.
Right,
yes,
for
they've
sure.
done a great job.
They have, and it's been fair.
Quite honestly,
it's been great both sides.
Young crew. They do a great job.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to see it.
Now the hometown scorekeeper with a buzzer again. We're 2 for 2 here.
Timeout, second horn.
Yeah, the second horn. That's what it was, too. You're right. You nailed it.
A little.
Just got to get a hand on it. There you go. Good job. Good job.
Wow.
Now, I'll tell you what. That was a very exciting 51-49 game.
Yes.
But I believe that there's a lot to be desired if you're Coach Schertz and the Ballard Bombers.
Absolutely.
And
I think, the biggest thing that stands out for me, Tim, 9 guys, 10 guys that you just built confidence with and finished against a great opponent.
And you kind of saw it here towards the end of that game, right, where our energy on that, you talked about it on that possession, we kept that ball in that corner.
Yep.
We had more energy.
Absolutely.
We did. We were just there. Our biggest thing is what I took away from it, Todd, and I want you to kind of speak to this, is we've got to make some shots. We've got to make more shots earlier.
Right.
Then I really think your depth can really wreak havoc.
Absolutely. It was just great to see that. I mean, quite honestly, you don't see that a lot in high school basketball where you're playing 9, 10 guys.
Right.
So kudos to the Ballard coaching staff. Norwalk did a great job.
Yeah, and similar to what we saw in the Norwalk girls, not a lot of drop-off.
Right.
They played 8, 9, 10 girls, and so it was one of those things.
Yeah.
And I think it's definitely going to be a trial and error with the amount of kids that we're playing.
There's going to be nights that maybe it isn't like that.
Right,
but,
and some of your guys, you're going to have a 25 guy, that night, as opposed to we were pretty balanced tonight. I think that our strength is probably in the full court from watching it tonight. However, this Norwalk team, very well coached, and they did not roll over.
No,
at
not
all.
At all.
They were down there 6 or 7 a couple times, and
No, that's a great finish to a great high school.
Yeah, it was, and I'm glad we're the Ballard Network, right?
Yeah.
So I'm glad it turned out in our favor. But there was tons of effort throughout, and it's super enjoyable to watch. So,
well, I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man. And you'll be back next Tuesday,
Next
right?
Tuesday.
You're not here Friday, so we've got some. I think Steve Domino's going to help us out throughout the year. And Todd, we appreciate you. How was your maiden voyage?
Oh, I had a blast.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm a little bit quieter because I'm usually a little bit louder in the crowd, but
it does help to keep it on. But we can't get animated. It's fun to see big time stuff, and we are a little bit biased. But man, I appreciate you coming on board with me, and we'll see you next Tuesday, if not before then, outside of here. But for executive producer Danny Sunsets Ainsley, for Todd, we don't have a nickname for him yet,
okay.
Miller, but we'll find one. I'm your play-by-play guy, Tim Davis, and we'll leave you from the hangar with a 51-49 hard-fought battle, and we will be back here on Friday night for another girls and boys doubleheader against the folks from over in Bondurant for all. So we'll see you again Friday, and as always, go Bombers.